Hello and welcome to a new kind of video here on Monkey Fight. I'd like to call it technical testing. Here we take a deck tech like 1 or 2 cards, or a deck building idea like trying to fit Overdress in Eugene or Overlord, and put it to the test. Today I'd like to talk to you about an interesting idea I've seen floating around regarding Bastion. If you've read the title, I'm sure you know what it is I'm talking about. Of course, I'm speaking of running the grade 1 and 2 from the PBD Rideline and Bastion as opposed to the normal Rideline. The thought process is Bastion, that's a deck that wants to get to the grade 3 turn and hit the ground running, calling a board of grade 3s and swinging 4 times that turn. In theory, the PBD Rideline can possibly help us get to this point by helping deter early aggression due to their retire from Blaster Dark. And we're not sacrificing any card advantage off of Heavenly Spear Rooks due to the additional drive check we get, which also adds a little bit of potential to high roll due to some crazy stuff like I've done in the past and double crit somebody on grade 2 turn, which can end the game right there. In addition to this, you don't have to reveal any cards from your hand to activate the skill, so your opponent has a little bit less information, and you also can't brick and miss a skill due to not having enough grade 3s to reveal. Now that we've talked about this alternative Rideline and why to play it, let's talk about why not to play it. First and foremost, it takes a counterblast in comparison to Bastion's default Rideline, which come grade 3 turn, especially if you're going first, you can be stuck on only one counterblast and an Allen in hand whose ability you can't resolve, which is more important than the single retire on grade 2 turn. On top of this, the call from Blaster Javelin gets retired in comparison to Heavenly Sword Forts, whose call is not only not retired, but is also called standing, which helps Bastion have a bit of early game aggression with 2 attacks in comparison to the Van pressure with the additional drive check. Let's just do a simple pros and cons list next. For the pros, it has less brick potential due to not needing grade 3s in hand. It doesn't reveal your hand to the opponent. It retires an opponent's rear guard, has more Van pressure, and it's better with calling a trigger than the default Bastion Rideline is. Now to the cons. It uses a counterblast, potentially retires a useful unit that we called, and is less aggressive on a grade 2 turn. For my final thoughts, I'll say this. It's a good option I found myself thinking is better than I first gave credit for with each game that I played. Now that being said, when you compare this to the normal Bastion Rideline skills, they both still +1, one with a draw and one with a drive check, and they both somehow improve your game state, whether removing the opponent's unit with a free one with Blaster Dark, or getting another attack with a free unit. But the biggest difference is the fact that one is completely free and the other costs a counterblast. While on the surface it may not seem too important, just about every game going first, except when playing against overly aggressive decks like Magnolia, they can deny you Allen on the first grade 3 turn, which can be massive, especially against decks that turn on post grade 3 turn like Bruce or Nirvana. All in all, it was better than a normal Rideline in aggressive matchups and worse than the normal Rideline in more defensive or tempo-oriented ones. I'd say give it a try. You might just end up liking it, but personally, until Bastion gets a better countercharge than Fasado, it'll have to be the original Rideline for me. If you got to this point in the video, thank you for watching all the way through. If you have any other deck techs you'd like us to check out, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video if you want to see more content like this. And if you could do me a personal favor and hit the subscribe button, it'd mean a lot.